The 2026 Toyota Tacoma has captivated everyone's attention once again. Styling, power, off-road performance, smooth ride, it has everything that makes a pickup truck great. So whether you're looking for a reliable work truck, a weekend adventurer, or even a comfortable daily driver, America's most popular midsize truck stands as the most logical choice. Stay with us and take a closer look, because the all-new 2026 Toyota Tacoma turns heads in the automotive world again. Powertrain. The 2026 is ready to solidify its leading position on the market, and one of its trump cards is definitely the powertrain. The new Tacoma comes with a few interesting options on offer. The base SR trim features a 2.4-liter turbo 4 with 228 horsepower and 243 pound-feet of torque. The same engine is offered in higher trim levels, but with a power boost. In this case, the max output is rated at 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque, which is plenty enough to hit 60 miles per hour in a little bit over 7 seconds. In both cases, driving dynamics are really good and there's plenty of low-end torque. Also, the new 8-speed automatic does a pretty good job in terms of refinement, adequate shifts, etc. But unlike most of the competition, the Tacoma still comes with the manual gearbox as well. The 6-speed unit is optional and it represents an excellent choice for enthusiasts who appreciate an old-school approach. This engine, available in 2 output variants, isn't the only option around. The Tacoma is also available as a hybrid, and a pretty capable one. Once again, the 2.4-liter turbo 4 is under the hood, but in combination with an electric motor and the battery. So altogether, they produce a combined output of 326 horsepower and an impressive 465 pound-feet of torque, available at pretty low RPMs, which seems perfect for towing and off-road adventures. Besides strong performance, both engines are fairly efficient, with the gas-only version being able to return around 20 mpg city and 26 mpg highway, which is very good for a midsize truck. The hybrid, while similarly efficient on the open road, has much better mpg ratings in the city, with up to 23 miles per gallon, which is excellent for a midsize truck. Ride quality. The current generation Tacoma definitely turns heads, and it's not just because of the styling. What's to like in particular is the ride quality, which excels in many ways. Namely, the last redesign brought significant changes to the suspension setup, in the way that the rear suspension, which used to feature a pretty conventional combo of solid axle and leaf springs, has been replaced. The new model features coil suspension, which makes a significant impact on the ride quality. On the road, the new Tacoma absorbs road imperfections better than pretty much every competitor. At the same time, it's quite engaging to drive. Still, it's important to keep in mind that this more advanced setup remains reserved for double cab models only. Extra cab versions are rather focused on work, so they still utilize good old leaf springs that optimize the truck's work potential. Speaking of work potential, the max towing rating goes up to 6,500 pounds with the Turbo 4 engine. It's not spectacular, especially when compared to what some rivals can tow, but it's not all that bad either. The hybrid can tow up to 6,000 pounds, so altogether, the Tacoma offers a really nice blend of comfort and utility, better than pretty much every other model in the class. Cab and bed configurations. People like Tacoma because of its straightforward design, attractive styling, and solid capabilities, let alone the reputation of being super reliable, but they also like it because it gives freedom of choice. The problem with most modern-sized pickups is that they come in a single configuration, with a double cab and short bed that is barely 5 feet long. For some reason, they don't offer work-oriented variants anymore. Toyota, on the other hand, offers a solid number of configurations, starting from 2 cab styles, extra cab and double cab. The former is a kind of extended cab version, while the latter is a typical crew cab unit, oriented to comfort. Then there's the bed size. The standard extra cab model comes with long 6-foot units, while the double cab version can be configured in both ways, either with the short 5-foot unit or the long 6-foot bed, which altogether gives a lot of options to customers to find their perfect layout. That's not all. Depending on the cab style, the Tacoma also features different suspension setups. Extra cab models are work-oriented and therefore feature rear suspension optimized for towing, with leaf springs. Double cab models put a lot of focus on comfort, with coil springs on the rear end that ensure Tacoma has some of the best rides in the segment. Off-road performance. The 2026 Toyota Tacoma has so many qualities, and one of them is that it can be configured in various ways. It can be a capable work companion. It can be a comfort-oriented truck as well. But above everything else, it's an off-roader. It comes with so many off-road oriented models on offer that gradually raise the price and the level of capabilities, so everyone can find their sweet spot. It all starts with the Pre-Runner, which is one of the most unique off-road models on the market because it blends performance with pure utility. Generally, it's a pretty basic truck with extra cab and long bed and therefore leaf springs. It can tow a lot, but it also comes with a suspension lift at the front, as well as a few more quintessential off-road features such as locking rear differential, underbody fuel tank protection, and unique dark gray alloy wheels. The TRD Off-Road is a mid-range off-roader in Tacoma's lineup, designed primarily for off-road trails, exclusively sold in a double cab layout. Therefore, it comes standard with 4-wheel drive and all-terrain tires, as well as upgraded suspension that includes Bilstein remote reservoir dampers. You also get additional skid plates, along with Pre-Runner's features like the locking differential. The TRD Pro is one of the most capable off-road trucks in the class, imagined primarily as a desert runner, but also a capable rock crawler. It comes standard with a hybrid powertrain and a full set of off-road goodies. Some of the highlights are 33-inch tires and bumpers that have been reshaped to provide better approach and departure angles. Black TRD 18-inch wheels are standard too, just like the Performance exhaust, and Toyota lettering on the grille. As for the suspension upgrades, Fox internal bypass dampers are there, along with a front sway bar disconnect that improves traction on trails. Finally, there's the Trail Hunter, another top-notch off-roader, but of a different kind compared to the TRD Pro. It's more of a rock crawler and therefore comes optimized for that purpose, with Old Man Emu suspension dampers, an ARB modular bed utility bar with removable panels, rock rails, additional underbody protection, exclusive bronze wheels, and many more. Interior. Like a proper pickup truck, the Tacoma looks rugged from the inside, but still, what dominates the dashboard design the most is the touchscreen, an 8-inch unit in base models, and the available 14-inch screen in mid-range and higher trim levels. Besides attractive aesthetics, the materials are also pretty impressive for the class, and what most of us really appreciate about this cabin design is that, unlike most rivals, the Tacoma has not moved toward digital controls virtually. There's still a fair amount of real buttons and switches, which definitely makes life easier. Of course, the total amount of passenger space depends on the cab styles you pick, but in both cases, the front seats are really generous with leg and headroom. Drivers will enjoy a lot of adjustability, especially from the tilt and telescoping steering wheel. So finding the perfect driving position is actually a pretty easy task. Furthermore, getting into the Tacoma isn't terribly difficult, as it can often be with pickups. Of course, the rear seats are a little bit harder to access, but nothing terribly challenging. Also, the double cab model accommodates adults in the second row pretty easily. This only changes if you pick the TRD Pro trim, because that model comes with those fancy isodynamic seats, which may be highly beneficial for your neck and back, but compromise the rear seat legroom significantly. As for tech features, we already talked about the optional 14-inch infotainment screen. This truck can also be configured with wireless smartphone connectivity, voice controls, wireless charging, smartphone integration, and many more. Safety features are numerous too, as all models come standard with goodies like forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking, pedestrian detection, adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, traffic sign recognition, and automatic high beams. Pricing. In 2026, Toyota Tacoma comes in a variety of configurations, so it's not a surprise that prices also come in a pretty wide range. The base SR model starts at around $32,000, while the SR5 brings upgrades worth an additional $5,000. The cheapest way to enjoy off-road performance is to get the Pre-Runner, which starts at around $39,000, while a notably more capable TRD Off-Road is priced at around $43,000. The TRD Sport is slightly cheaper and costs around $40,000, while the comfort-oriented Tacoma Limited would cost you around $53,000 and more. Finally, we've come to the two range-topping off-roaders, the TRD Pro and Trail Hunter, which both come standard with hybrid powertrain and therefore aren't cheap at all, with price tags going around $65,000 and $64,000 respectively. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.